Now we're going to define all of the fenestrations in our in-class example. Now fenestrations can come in any number of ways. Sorry, I should say the properties of these fenestrations can come in any number of ways. You might get them from an energy compliance report. You might get them from a window or door schedule. That's a big PDF with a list of every window and door and the properties of it. You might just get them from the builder or the architect or the contractor because they know what properties they're targeting. If it's an existing home, you might have to choose the construction of the windows, or based on the year that it was built, you might know the code minimum window properties of that building. So for us, in this example, they actually give us the properties right on the drawings here. This will almost never happen. It's very, very rare. But for the in-class example, this is the simplest way to give it. So we have two different window types: triple glazed, operable vinyl, insulating spacer, low E glazing, and glazing spacing argon, USI value 1.22, solar heat gain 0.28. So I could come here and I could begin to define my window and go triple glazed, wood or vinyl, insulating spacer. But if you remember what we said before, just because I know what the windows are made of, that is going to be much less accurate than if I just define the properties, because that's ultimately what we're after, is the properties of the window. So I can just choose to define the properties, which is 1.22 USI value and 0.28 solar heat gain. 1.22, 0.28. I also need to choose the number of glazings, which is triple. I have fully defined this window and I'm ready to save it as window ID 1. I'm also going to note that this is type A, just so later if I need to figure out which window goes where, I can, or sorry, which window gets which properties, I know that it's this one. So I'm going to type A and click save. So I've just defined window type A. Now let's do window type B, which is also triple glazed, fixed vinyl, insulating spacer, etc. USI 1.0, solar heat gain 0.24. USI 1.0, solar heat gain 0.24, triple glazed, window type 2, and this is type B. Looks good to me, and click save. So we've defined our two window types. Now we need to define our skylight. We see we have a skylight here. I know this project well, that's how I know there's a skylight. You'll see it in the bathroom here. It's labeled 306. If you come up to this table here, you'll see that window 306 is actually the skylight, which is type A, which is this. So I do need to define a skylight ID. So I'm going to go skylight. You'll remember the U value is 1.22 and the solar heat gain was 0.28. USI 1.22, solar heat gain 0.28, triple glazed, and I'm also going to say type A and save it as skylight ID 1. So now we have both windows and our skylight. Let's go look for doors. So I'm going to come to the door tool. Door type A is a solid door, insulated fiberglass with polyurethane core without storm door. Okay, perfect. So I can begin insulated fiberglass with polyurethane core without storm door. That's great, except what do we know? They gave us the properties. So actually we should just use these properties. Now in this scenario, the default properties are accurate compared to what we're going to do, but I'm just going to type that anyway. USI value 1.0. We're going to save this as door, type A, and it's going to be door ID number 1. And click save. Lastly, we have door type B, which is a sliding glass door. Now this is different, right? Because we have a glass door. So properties are USI 1.0 and solar heat gain 0.24. Yes, it's a door, except as far as we're concerned, as far as the math is concerned, this is a big window. It's a big, tall window. And the properties are actually that of window type B. Therefore, we don't actually need to define anything for this, quote, door type B, because we know door type B is a window, and we've already defined it as window ID 2, which is type B. So we know if they say door type B, what they actually mean is this glass, which is window type B. I'm just saying this is the same because you'll notice the properties are actually the same. 1.0, 0.24, 1.0, 0.24. We don't have any shadings on this example, but if we did, let's say the client wanted us to use blinds on the windows because the homeowner is really concerned about energy and they're okay to put the blinds down on the really hot days of the year, we can go shadings, interior finish, or sorry, interior blinds or curtains, and just simply save it as shading ID 1. It's got no R value. What it's going to do is reflect sunlight, though. It's going to limit the amount of heat gain that comes through the window. This is our fenestrations all fully defined.